All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm thinking there'll be quite a few more people, hopefully, that are going to join us. So we just wanted to take an opportunity to recap convention. And if you missed one of our 5 billion Facebook posts or live events, you know that convention was out of this world. I think I speak for all of us that went when we say that, you love doTERRA already. But you go and you learn so much more about the company and the people. And this year there was so much science, and it was really, really mind blowing. And you already want to share with family and friends, but it kind of elevates it and takes it to a whole nother level. So I'm going to kind of go through this in the based on the agenda that we had. So we had 3 full days of events, and I'm just going to kind of give my highlights, and then I'm going to ask other people that were with me to share anything, their takeaways from those days. So I'm going to kind of chunk it in days, and then throughout those 3 days, they introduced all the new products on day 1. But throughout the 3 days, they revisited topics. For example, there was a whole section on sleep. And then they connected sleep and really the lack of sleep that most of us get to the reformulated Serenity, as well as the Serenity Complex. Okay. All right. Normally I do these and I can hear everybody. So it's really weird because it's like totally quiet. If you want to say something, I think there's like a thing you can do to raise your hand, but like literally just like go like this. So I know that you wanna speak. Okay, so we started off with David Sterling, our founder and CEO, and he just talked a little bit about we being one, and then and just sort of as a company, as a united front. Kirk Jowers, who we actually ran into on the streets of Utah while we were lost. Just talked about doTERRA and their recognition in the essential oil industry. Emily Wright came on and talked about the difference one drop makes. And just for FYI, if you ever see Emily or Dr. Hill in live or in anything, they will cry. So that's just standard part for the course. She's a crier. Dr. Hill came next and talked about the uniqueness of new essential oils. So a couple of things happened. So one big thing was that they dropped the shipping rate. So that's always great. If you're on an LRP, you always get that back in free product credit anyway, but it's always nice. And they said their ultimate goal is totally free shipping, which I think we all know is such a huge draw for people. So it'll be nice when we get to that point. They talked about donating to Healing Hands. And I know that we've been posting a lot about that. We built a brand new school, fully funded in Guatemala, including a vocational school for cooking, for electrical work, agriculture. And there are now 130 families that have specialized training in cardamom harvesting. Frankincense from Somalia. They met with 23 clan heads. They talked to harvesters, council members, landowners. We built our first school. Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us. We built our first school with 120 students. So that started in August of 2015. And our second school will begin classes this month with 200 students. Just a reminder from David Sterling that we are a totally debt-free company. We have a really strong and experienced management team. And if you ever did look more in depth on the business side of doTERRA, all of their executive team actually has come from other successful MLM companies. So Kirk Jowers talked about 100. We have about 100 essential oils that are sourced from over 43 countries and 40 nations, 26 of which we're developing. So I think that that's really huge. It shows this, the global impact that we're making. Healing Hands has 49 projects, and to date we've given over $3 million. Emily Wright talked about the reports of adverse reports of adverse effects from essential oils, it was less than 0.006%. Okay, so, and most of them are just minor skin irritations. These are the ones that are reported to doTERRA. So kind of just speaks to the efficacy and safety. She also talks about the source mattering, the quality mattering, that the therapeutic benefits come from where the oils are grown in the most optimal regions. She's talked about infrastructure for quote impact sourcing and how being sustainable is so critical for doTERRA. So then at this point, this is when they introduced a new oil, petitgrain. And this is made from a wood. It comes from Paraguay. It's helping to provide jobs, incentive for kids to stay. It comes from the bitter orange tree, the leaves and twigs. So this was a new essential oil, and I can tell you a little bit more. I'm still learning about these. Primary benefits: helping support cardiovascular function, antioxidant support, healthy immune function, may help promote restful sleep. You can take this one internally. So this has supplemental facts. So we know we can use this aromatically, topically, and internally. They talk about, and then they introduce spikenard, the new essential oil from Nepal. And due to the earthquake, over 10,000 people were killed, 800 schools were destroyed. So doTERRA was able to send in immediate relief, blankets, rice, lentils, tarps. They've also they were able to build 200 homes in over a month, and they've built 2 government-approved schools since the earthquake. And they were able to really get in there right away because of their relationship with the Nepalese government. So this is a new oil from Nepal. It's spikenard. It's very, very common. They equated it, they continue to make comparisons to frankincense. So just like we use frankincense, when in doubt, use frankincense, same idea with spikenard. This, however, is not to be taken internally. So there is no, this is not recommended for internal use. So there are no supplemental facts on there. Good news, Melissa and Roman chamomile are coming back December 1st. Limit 2, and I would say if you want, especially Roman Cam, Melissa's a pretty big investment, but if you want Roman chamomile, I might just buy 2 bottles. I don't know. That's just me though. Dr. Hill talked about the 2 new oils, petitgrain, the leaves and twigs from the bitter orange tree, many, many types of petitgrain, and he also talked about like why citrus oils weren't all the same. So it was interesting. I didn't know this, but he mentioned like mandarin essential oil doesn't have any therapeutic benefits. So all types of citrus oil have different benefits. Some of them have none. The petitgrain has chemistry and science that looks a lot like lavender, and helps to calm. Lavender complexity isn't necessarily the number of compounds. So there's 17 total compounds in there. So anyway, he kind of talked a lot about stress and how the inhalation of aromas and so forth can help with that. He talked also about spikenard a little bit more, that you can use it as an amplifier. So same like frankincense. And so there's definitely a lot more information about those oils. And I posted the product pages that have like very like lengthy descriptions about each one on the PDF versions on the group page if you want to go ahead and check those out. I'm going to go ahead and unmute until this point and see if anybody else who's on here has anything to say. Okay, there we go. Ooh. Anybody want to add for what I shared so far? No? Cricket? I know. It's weird. I don't know. You've never had that. Okay, I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna mute. I'm muting. I'm muting. Oh, you can unmute yourself though. That's excellent. If you want to say something, unmute yourself. Excellent. Okay. So, and then they just did a couple of new product updates. So there's updates to the kids vitamins, A to Z. They updated the flavor. My kids never minded them before, but they seem to really like this one, a watermelon. And, you know, I think it goes without saying that, like, we know we don't get the nutrition that we need, but children's are not getting enough of the nutrients that they need, and it can really affect their development. Kids and adults are not equal, so we want to be sure that we're meeting our kids' nutritional demands, and this supplement can help support them, just like our doTERRA supplements can help support us in that. PB Assist Junior, this has been a hit in my house. My kids haven't ever really struggled necessarily with being regular. Well, my son when he was like an infant, but this has just been a huge hit in my house. And I love that my kids are getting that. Kanan, can you unmute maybe and talk a little bit about this one?
Same idea. I mean, same thing. My kids have loved it. It's like a little pixie stick. It's really good. You have to try it. If come to one of the classes, we'll have samples out. But I was really excited when they brought this. Sorry, I'm just like flipping through my notes real quick.
No, I kind of put you on the spot.
Yeah, like
I know.
Okay.
Go ahead. You found it?
Yeah. So when they made this probiotic, they made it so there's 5 billion live cells of good bacteria. And the large intestine is known to be the second brain of the body. So oftentimes when a child or adult have like allergies or anything really that's going on, they automatically think that it's something going on with the gut. Because when your gut's not strong and you don't have that nice filtering system, then it's usually showing up in an allergy or showing up some other way. So they tell you get that gut real strong. So that's the importance of this probiotic, and it's perfect for the kids because of the flavor. Strawberry melon, I think that's what they said the favorite kind of tastes like. And it encases each bacteria. That's the science part of it. It gently wraps each cell of bacteria so it doesn't get ruined in the gut, because as it goes to our digestive system, everything gets broken down, and that's the part where it's a good probiotic versus just an okay probiotic, because there's probiotics out there, and I've probably been through half of them because my son has so many problems. But that's pretty much the best part about it, I think. It tastes good. It's reasonably priced. There's 30 in a box, $24.50 once a day for the kids. Ages 3 to 12 is ideal. After 12, you could do it twice a day. When we asked, they wouldn't recommend it before age 3.
Thanks, Kanan. Yeah. What did I want to say? I just posted something in the group page, like an awesome testimonial from someone whose son really struggles, and it's sensitivity to chlorine. So when he swims, it like exacerbates his tummy issues and behavior issues. Another thing I want to say is that in my family, we're pretty regular, but a lot of times people will ask me for recommendations for things like eczema. Those are such hard things to help people figure out, because a lot of that is internal. It's related to the gut. So there are blends that can help alleviate it, but you do want to talk to people about what they're putting in their body. So this and the supplements, and I like this better than the adult probiotic, so I'm just gonna take this one. And they said it's totally safe. There is a lot of talk about sleep, and I think I'll come to that a little bit more, but the importance of sleep. But these, I think besides the probiotic, this Serenity Complex might be what I'm most excited about, just in terms of a natural solution to sleep aiding. And they've changed the name of the Serenity blend from, what was it used to be? Oh my gosh. Now it's the Restful blend. Was it the Calming blend? Yeah. Okay. So it was Calming blend. Now it's Restful blend. And so this product, so they've reformulated the Serenity, and then there's this new complex, which Kanani shared that her dad's been using and is loving. And from the other groups that I've seen, Aaron's group, people are going crazy about it. I did take this 1 or 2 nights, and I felt like I slept better until my kids woke me up, because apparently nothing can keep me sleeping through them. So. But anyway, this is the one that I feel like besides a probiotic, people are really excited about. Anybody want to say anything about this one? The sleep information that they presented was kind of crazy. I mean, true, like everybody knows, right? You don't get enough sleep and how that affects your brain, but they went into a lot of science about that. I think the next part, there was a whole presentation on why do we need sleep. But I think the next part was probably one of my most favorite parts. It was when Dr. Nicole Parrish from Johns Hopkins University presented, and she talked about all research being published in mainstream scientific journals. And also, I don't know if she was the one who said it, but at some point it came out, there was so much science, and it came out that it takes almost 10 years, a minimum usually of 10 years from when they start studying something to when it's actually published in mainstream media. So I thought that was really fascinating because, you know, there's so much, I mean, I get so much questions about essential oils and their safety and their effectiveness. And it's really exciting that it's all kind of coming, it's going to be coming really soon from world-renowned institutions like Johns Hopkins, and the research will be public and available to everyone. So, but she talked about not all essential oils are created equally. And there were so many personal stories, but I feel like her personal story was about her mom. Was it about her mom? And her mom actually first introduced her to the oils, and she didn't have any idea what she was talking about. But she just said, quality matters, batch to batch quality control of doTERRA is phenomenal. So this researcher from Johns Hopkins University that had no affiliation with doTERRA said that they chose to partner with doTERRA with their study because batch after batch, the quality of their oils was unsurpassed by anyone else. She said things like, this is going to be, oh, I have something, see landmark study slide. I don't know what that means. It's probably, I took a picture of something. But she mentioned that ancient society did things and knew things that we've lost along the way. And this is essential oils is a perfect example of how that's coming back up. So I thought that her talk was one of the most exciting of the entire convention. And just because there's such a prestigious institution, to know that the research is coming from them just gives us so much more credibility. So anybody want to say anything about that? No? Oh yeah, you can unmute yourselves. Okay. Onward. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember. But did they say, I know the data will be published in scientific journal, but she didn't say when, yeah.
She didn't say when. Mm-hmm. She didn't say when, and she didn't say what scientific journal. So what I'm hoping is that when it happens, doTERRA is going to, you know, announce it and let us all know so that we can just immediately pass on that information. And I don't know if you remember, but I don't know if it was that day or the day after, but they were kind of like, you know, they didn't want us to they talked about, because that information is not yet actually released, that we can share that it's forthcoming, but people are kind of chomping at the bit a little bit for it. So, but they didn't say, and I've had people ask me. So as soon as we find out, you know, I'll definitely let you guys know. But I'm assuming that once it comes out, doTERRA is gonna make sure that we all know about it as much as possible. Yeah. So, I feel like though they introduced everything on day one. So before we move on to the other days, let me just talk about a couple more products. So we talked about all of the oils, and those of you that are on, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I talked about the Serenity Complex. So a big one really was this, like all of the spa products. That was a huge one. So body wash, a reformulation of the hand and body lotion, which if you don't use theirs, I like theirs now. I tried the new one at Kate's house, but I love this with a little bit of coconut oil and any essential oil that I use. That's my daily go-to moisturizer. This is a new body butter that was really nice. So same idea, just a little bit richer. An exfoliating body scrub, a body wash, which I'm really stoked about because normally they usually did these only in the holidays, and so I would hoard them, and like you're limited to how many you can buy. So it was really nice because when I came home, I was able to bust out my last hoarded bottle of body wash, and now I know I can get it on a regular basis. The Citrus Bliss hand lotion, and then a bath bar. And these three new, their original peppermint and wild orange lip balm. And this happened to me before where I tried to read this and it's really tiny. Oh God. Mom, I feel like you right now. It's really bad. Clementine. Long, long. Lang, lang. You lang, lang? I can't remember. Dang it. Okay. And I feel stupid because I'm laughing to myself over here. Okay, and then this last one is, oh my God, really? Why can't I read this? Lemon, marjoram, spearmint. Ooh, I love spearmint, an herbal blend. So these were kind of, this whole spa line was new. And then the last thing, which is not new, but kind of cool, I do love my touch kit. So they put all of the emotions blend in touch, which I think is so like duh, because you can only use these aromatically and topically, and diffusing them is so nice, but being able to carry these as well and with you. Hey, Marcy. Hi, girl. Everyone's muted, but feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions or anything, okay? All right. So, and I know, like, for instance, when Marcy first got her Forgive, I think it was like, how do I use it? So this is a perfect, easy, like, solution to that. A pre-diluted bottle of Forgive that you can just carry with you and apply as you need it. So I do love the touch, and I thought that that was great that they added that. So are there any questions about any of the products that we showcased or talked about? Okay, unmute yourself, Keha. I can see her going, I have a question. Okay, how do I unmute myself?
Yeah. On the vitamins, what ages? What's the youngest age?
For these vitamins?
Yeah.
These vitamins
What's the youngest?
say children 4 years of age and older, 2 a day. I started giving my kids 4 and older, 2 a day. But I started giving, wait, what did I show 3? Stop it,
Well,
Aisha.
we asked when we were there.
Yeah.
And they said that you could go as young as 3 because they have the doing capability, but they wouldn't go younger than 3.
Okay.
So we asked.
I thought it was for the probiotics, but yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I gave one to my kid from when she was like 2.5. So she's fine. Well, that's arguable, but she's alive. So, but yeah. No, and actually what's funny is she's probably the healthiest, but now that she's 4, I give both of them 2 of these a day. But so that was the same then for the probiotic and the vitamin was the same ages? Okay, perfect. Good to know. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so, and I know, Keha, you're so excited to go next year. We're excited to have you. It was awesome. Okay.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Okay, so the next day, Corey Lindley, our Chief Financial Officer, talked about the source mattering, but he also talked about the highest retention rate. And I think it's really important to note that doTERRA has a 65 to 70% retention rate. The industry standard is 15%. 84% of our sourcing of our oils is exclusive to doTERRA. So that means that 84% of the oils that we get, those harvesters, those farmers, they only work with doTERRA. The co-impact sourcing has provided sustainable jobs, long-term partnerships, and is allowing us to build capacity. In Bulgaria, this is where we're growing our Melissa and also some lavender. So lavender has been grown in France, but it's also coming to pass that Bulgaria has optimal conditions for lavender growing. In winter, we distill Frank from Somalia. So a modern distillery gets far more yield. So that means more farmers get more money. So that's been really great. We've been able to support other communities in Haiti, Kenya with clean water system. In Haiti, 3,000 people that didn't have access to water have access now that didn't before. Haiti is our vetiver facility just for doTERRA, and it supports over 4,000 families. In Kenya, growers love the ethics of doTERRA. We're setting up schools, maternity clinics, mobile clinics. So this is where they talked about that Source to You app. And right now there is a website, Source to You, and we've posted it in the group page. But soon there'll be, is it an app? It's also going to be an app, correct? My Peeps app or just web page? Anyway, we'll get back to that. But basically, you'll be able to take any bottle and enter that unique code on the bottom. This is a batch code. And sometimes, like, if you have any issues with, like, leakage or something, doTERRA will ask you for the batch code on the bottom so that they can kind of track that. But you'll be able to put this in and get the unique reports for these particular bottles of oils, like the literal bottle of oil. You can unmute yourself, Mom.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to say that it is, what was the question?
Is it going to be an app?
It is an app. It will be an app, but right now it's just the website.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So really, really exciting. And go check it out already because there's already tons of stuff on there. But I just think how amazing is it that you can, and it's not just doTERRA testing, it's third-party testing and so forth. Dr. Hill talked a lot about essential oils and emotions. There was actually a lot about it, and it was kind of intense. Talking about all the research about how emotions truly are chemical. Our kidneys, our adrenal gland, they cause all of those fight or flight responses. So the parasympathetic, it's legitimate chemistry. So I know for a long time, people that have suffered with chemical imbalances have really had to fight against society's sort of stereotypes that it's something that they can control. And he really spoke to the research being profound about how it's, legitimately chemistry that causes these imbalances, and that each chemical constituent really truly can make a difference. So he just talked about the emotional blends and how they're really power packed with synergistic constituents that really support people. Smelling and aroma is the most powerful way to affect your emotions. And really oils, like we know, is about being proactive. So we want to use these aromas to restore choice and control of our emotions. So you being proactive, using them before things happen and using them consistently. I know that that's something I struggle with. I mean, there are times I finish the workday, I'm like, dang, I didn't even put my diffuser on all day. Like, how easy is that? So I feel like that's why it's so nice to have these blends ready to go, because we need that support and we often ignore it. And it's so simple, taking those few seconds to inhale something that can immediately change our body's chemical reactions. And so for anyone that suffers from any type of disease, you know, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia. I mean, the whole gamut. I mean, even if we don't have those types of classified mental disorders, and we all feel it at times, the stress, the anxiety, the depression, the anxiousness. And so it was really a reminder to me how much I need to turn to my oils for that kind of emotional support. He said, lifelong vitality by far has such a positive impact on mood. And I don't have any scientific study to say for myself other than I totally can feel a difference when I don't take my LLV, and it's not fun. Just in my total, you know, state of mind. So he talked about sustainable emotional wellness, and they kind of got a little emotional here, but they said, you know, we're all part of a global relief team. The world is suffering, and we have a responsibility to help people feel better through essential oils. Aromatherapy is a proven science. It always has been. No one will debate that. But aromatherapy doesn't always offer these types of quality aromas that we have to offer people. So I thought that was really profound. I'm going to kind of skip around because I feel like there's just so much. Justin Harrison came on for a little bit, but I think another really cool thing, he talks about, is he the doctor? No, he is not a doctor. He is our upline. But maybe Dr. Hill still talked about this. Doctors in the U.S., they diagnose the problem and they fix it. We're in a rich country. It's very traditional. We're heavily influenced, but the best solution really is prevention. The LLV, the optimal dose, is ideal. If it's not the optimal amount, it negates the purpose. So I do tell people to start slowly on LLV just so that their body gets used to it. But ultimately, if people don't feel the results that we talk about, it's that they don't take their vitamins consistently, or they're not taking the optimal dose that's recommended. He talked a lot too about some of the women's supplements like the phytoestrogen, the bone nutrient, and there was some really great recommendations for oil use during pregnancy, which I'll post in the group. But okay, I said that Dr. Nicole Parrish was like the coolest, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm kind of backtracking, but like her credentials are like redonkulous. I mean, like, how do people even achieve all of this stuff? It's crazy. Okay, where was she? She's somewhere in here. Oh, she's associate professor of pathology at Johns Hopkins. She serves as the associate director of medical, I can't even say this word, microbacteriology, antimicrobial compounds, characterizing the mechanism. My gosh. She received her undergraduate degree in history and sociology from Shepherd College. She earned her master's in immunology and infectious disease and a PhD in molecular microbiology from Johns Hopkins. She completed her postdoctoral fellowship at Johns Hopkins as well. There's kind of more. So why I'm saying this is I'm not going to read everybody else's, but we had a whole panel of physicians, and I will take a picture of this and post this in the group page. But we had literally 7 different physicians on a panel to talk about essential oils. And it was pretty cool because in the beginning they stopped and opened their essential oil bottle and I'll put a drop in their mouth. And internal usage is a little controversial, but it was pretty cool. But they talked about essential oils are already published in journals. Like we make it seem as if there's nothing out there, but they said that they are published and they are mainstream. They talked about improving the clinical experience to decrease stress and anxiety. So just the idea of simply diffusing essential oils in hospitals and medical practices. He said Dr. David Stewart said lack of awareness can be overcome with education. Look for the data, look for the literature. So I try not to get into debates with people. I don't know the science. I tell them to research themselves, and I try to tell them to avoid things like blogs. because those really are people's opinions. And then those people that have practiced aromatherapy, that are certified aromatherapists, they're actually bound to a code to say that you can't use essential oils internally, but that's a very, very old school train of thought. A book that commonly people reference to me is Robert Tisserand's work, Essential Oil Safety. The last time that book was published was in 1995. So we really have to start looking at more recent research. But it was really cool because they talked about how we should expect and demand the healthcare industry to take better care of us. They talked about internal use, that information is power. The female doctor on the panel, I kind of wish there were more females, but that's for another day. She talked about using intuition. I mean, she talked about the science of the oils, but I think she said, like, I'm a mom, like, use your intuition. Like, you're not going to do anything to purposefully hurt your kids. One size does not fit all. She said, but most importantly, you want to think about the sourcing and you want to think about the safety. So the question was posed to them, why doTERRA? And these doctors, whose like credentials are ridiculous, said, and this is what I highlighted, the science, the testing, the consistency of the product, the dependency on the chemical structures, the reproducible results. That's what we look for in science, and that's what doTERRA has. This particular doctor also said that he is, and none of these doctors are saying forget Western medicine. They're all Western medicine doctors, but they just think that integrating it is a responsibility to share what has worked. And several of them shared very personal stories about how the essential oils, one was a doctor that had, I think it was a brain tumor and a tumor in his liver. Another doctor talked about his child that was autistic, and they did everything known to man, and frankincense oil was like a miracle for them. They might not have used the word miracle, but so they had very personal experiences as well as their own scientific background. Dr. David Stewart again talked about the baseline is the science. But he also talked about, took an emotional stance with it, that it exemplifies hope, that doTERRA exemplifies hope, people, communities, moms, kids, villages. As healthcare providers, that's what they strive to do. And that was the doctor that had the brain tumor and the tumor in his liver. And he said, of course he did all of the Western medical things, but he also said that he knows without a doubt that essential oils help support him as well. Another doctor talked about excellent methodology and super results with their first clinical trial. And doTERRA is a science company. So I don't know where it's published yet, but it should be out. doTERRA themselves held their first clinical trial with the Serenity Complex. And it was pretty crazy because one of the parameters to being part of this study, so they did it within their employees, but you couldn't use you couldn't use any essential oil products for like 3 months. So they started off with people being interested, but then people weren't willing to give up the oil for that long. Anyway, that was really cool. Does anybody want to say anything about the physicians panel? Because I thought all of that science was just awesome. I might have missed a lot. Oh,
Yeah, I just want to say that I thought it was really, from my personal experience of having to get off of Western medicine because I had to, and then doing all the research myself, and this is the beginnings of the heavy use of the internet in the early 90s. And then finding out, it takes 12 years to get mainstream science, get something into mainstream science. I thought that was really, really fascinating about how in most countries where you have people that are farmers, they live off the land, they do things like that. They basically have the wherewithal, like for the Hawaiian people and other cultures, they know how to use plants and how to use different parts of the plants. And that's where healing comes from the earth, things of the earth, like doTERRA means of the earth. So it was just really, really important for me to hear that kind of stuff. And now that these doctors are putting themselves out there to share that Western doctors should start to give this as an alternative to patients. So it's real helpful. I can't wait to hear the studies.
I know. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. So day 2 rounded out with Callie Wilson, a presidential diamond, speaking. And so there was a lot of like, you know, mushy gushy stuff there. Good stuff though. She just talked though about, you know, the culture of excellence and staying the course. And so being agents of positive change. I love, if you know me, I love all things MLM. I love me LuLaRoe. Like really, I love LuLaRoe. Like it's ridiculous. I'm obsessed. I love Stella and Dot. I have a vast collection of 31 bags. Like I love MLM companies, and I love that like they empower moms and you know, women a lot to own their own businesses and have flexibility. Beachbody, you know, helped me lose weight. I put it all back on. But anyway, the point is that I love doTERRA because I love all the success stories, all of the, you know, I do feel like that we're agents of positive change. And I mean, I feel like some of the MLMs are very much geared toward that too, like Beachbody, you know, you're helping people take control of their health and their weight. Marseille and Rodan and Fields, when people feel good about their skin. You know, LuLaRoe, I mean, I just feel good in their leggings. I mean, I'm not hating. I'm just saying that that's why I love doTERRA so much, is because I feel like I'm truly, I think that's why I love being a teacher, because I feel like you really make a difference. You know, you impact people positively. And so she talked about the product and business side, but also, you know, the self-growth side, you know, purifying your heart, making room for abundance, stopping the scarcity mindset. And I think on like an island, it's real easy to feel that scarcity mindset. So that wrapped up day 2. Day 3 started with, well, Shannon Bible spoke, but I don't really remember her because there was this amazing woman, Immaculate, is that how I say her name? Ilibigiza. Anyway, Immaculate. Okay. And so it was interesting because Mom and Kanani had already seen her speak actually on Maui at the church, at St. Anthony's Church. So they were really stoked. If you don't know her story, she was part of the Rwanda genocide, and she was locked in a bathroom with 5 other women, like a 3x4 bathroom for over 5 months. I don't think I really have notes because it was just so, I mean, she was mesmerizing and you just listen to the story. But it was interesting. So hers was really just about, I mean, forgiveness. That was her theme. Like if she could forgive the people who killed her entire family, her entire village, it really was her story, was that all she thought about was all the things she was going to do to these people. And then while trapped in this bathroom, she reconnected with God and learned forgiveness, taught herself to read English, just, you know, on an aside. And so that was really, yeah, forgiveness equals peace and freedom. Bitterness was killing her. She talked about the power of love, fear being our worst enemy. Life is your gift. You choose what to do with it. So that was just really empowering. But I thought it was really cool because she mentioned that the day that she got the email, I guess one of the execs saw her speak somewhere, the day she got the email to speak at doTERRA convention, a friend of hers shared our essential oils with her for the first time. And so she, you know, really was embracing the fact that she kind of felt like that was, you know, destiny and meant to be. So just a little bit more, Rich Higbee talked about, he's our VP of Sales and Leadership, and he just talked about the new changes. So preferred customer is gone. So those of you that are sharing doTERRA, so Trace, Keho, actually everybody's here. I know Marseille's talked to friends and family about it. Preferred membership is gone. So what exists now are basically 3 options. 1, retail. Please don't let anybody pay retail. Like, it's just not worth it to pay retail. The second is a wholesale customer. So basically, as a wholesale customer, you get all the perks as a wellness advocate. You get 25% off the retail price. You're eligible for an LRP, all of those same things. But the only thing is you don't have to give your social security number, and you can't share doTERRA. You can't enroll anyone. If at any time you decide, or anybody you know is a wholesale customer and then decides, oh, I actually want to start sharing it, all they have to do is call doTERRA and give them their social security number. And that's obviously for tax reporting purposes. It's just interesting, some statistics. 82% of doTERRA wellness advocates have not enrolled anyone. We need customers. Every business goes off customers. So what differentiates this is that wholesale customers really can share whatever they want about a product. Just like when we go to a restaurant or a store, or when we fly a bad airline, okay? As customers, we can say whatever we want about that company, that product. We've been held tight a little bit in the last year about what we could say, what's compliant. But now with wholesale customers, it just gives people the freedom that don't want to share the oils, the ability to really share their experiences without having to filter them. And then there was a lot about tools, social media, more a little bit of the business stuff. But we ended not ended the day, but there was, it's not on here, but there was a presentation, I can't remember his name, from a man who started Operation Underground Railroad. And I posted a couple things about that in the group page as well. It's estimated that 35 million people are in slavery. And in this case, they're talking about slavery of sex trafficking. It was total tear fest. He said something like the arena we were in, I think, held about 20,000 people. And he said, imagine every seat in this arena filled, because there were some seats that were empty, not many, but there were some. And he was like, times 15. That's how many kids alone in this world are caught in sex trafficking. So doTERRA presented him with another $500,000 check, which we've donated now over $1 million. And he just talked a lot about his work. So, I mean, listen, those of you that are here and those of you that are watching, like, this is great. We love this. The oils are amazing. But these people, the company, their ethics, their attention to science, their attention to people, communities across the world, it's just, I'm so grateful to be a part of it. And so, even if you're not sharing, even if you're just, using, or just know that these people care about you, and their goal is just quality products that help enhance everyone's lives. So, really grateful that you guys took the time to join us. And I'm going to go ahead, and anybody have any specific questions about anything? I know that was like a lot of information, but just go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any questions.
I don't have a question, but I had a quote from because you're talking about the OUR, or the Underground Railroad Project,
Yes.
About the sex trafficking of children. And like the one quote that I wrote down was that no great movement ever happened by sitting back and saying that someone's going to do something about this. And that's what he had said about why he got involved in that. And I mean, like, I think about that in, like, obviously in terms of what he presented on, but like also with what we're doing too, and like helping and giving back, and then also sharing and empowering other people too. So I just wanted to share that quote because I love that quote. Okay.
That's a great quote.
Bye.
No, it's so true. It's so true. I thought it was kind of cool too, because Kanani really connected with his story, because he was he a Secret Service? FBI?
Yeah, he was He was a federal government agent, and
Okay.
he was. So I think he was with ICE. That's what it was, and that's what Chris wanted to do. And he got sent. His story is he got sent to Colombia to teach. He was an instructor, and he went there and he taught. And they came up with this plan. And then he told them, "I'll be back, and we're gonna put this plan in place, and we're gonna get these people, and we're gonna rescue these kids, and I'll be back." So he went back to the U.S. and the U.S. told him. The government told him, "Well, we don't know why you said that. Like the U.S. is not mandated to go into Colombia and take kids and help people. Like, why would you even say that?" And so he went home and he couldn't sleep, and he talked to his wife, and they're very Christian, and they prayed about it. And the next day he went in and he turned in his badge and he turned in his gun, and he went back to Colombia. And he told the officials there, "I'm here. I promised you I'd be back, but I have no gun. I have no badge, but let's do this." And like, this guy is amazing. Like, get on YouTube. That was the first thing I did when I got home. I was so excited about my oils, but I grabbed the iPad and I said, "Chris, you got to watch YouTube." And he was like, "Holy smokes. Okay, what? I got to watch the convention." And I was like, "No, you don't." Like, so anyways, we typed in Operation Underground Railroad because I couldn't remember his name either. All I knew was Timothy.
Okay.
And it all popped up. Like, there's so much. He was on CBS News, NBC News. He was just on everything. I talked to my brother-in-law, Robert, who's a prosecutor, and Robert met him on Oahu at a class.
Wow.
So Robert said he was totally moved. The guy came here. He wanted to start doing stuff in Hawaii, but Hawaii's law is so sticky that they wanted him here. And, you know, there's a nice group of them that wanted him here, but when they tried to go through everything, it just didn't work. So I think that's why he's doing a lot in other countries, and doTERRA sees that, and doTERRA wants to support him. But he also said, "It's not that I don't want to do anything in the U.S. It's just so hard." Right. In the U.S. alone, there's 2 million children that's victims of sex trafficking in the U.S. alone. So that's why he said it's important for him to get back and do stuff more in the U.S., but it's so hard. So I just like the fact that doTERRA realizes that, and they made that Hope oil. Mm-hmm. Remember that Hope roller?
Yeah. It's in my purse.
Yeah, and they gifted him that, and the point of that was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the point of that was he's able to give those out to children, and they're in the label. They can call a number if they need help, but the bad people, so to speak, won't know because it's an oil. That's all it is, you know. But it has all the information right on the label where the child can take it off and call.
So that oil was in the convention kits that we got, and I'm not sure if they're going to make them for sale, but he connected it to that, giving them hope, right? And that just the emotions of it. And then I loved your story where you told him, where he said that I have no badge, I have no gun. And they were like, "Oh, we never recognized yours anyway, so it doesn't matter."
Aren't they coming out with a documentary as well? Is that coming out in October? Yeah, that's coming out.
Abolitionist. So if you want to learn more about that, it kind of is scary to me. Like, I mean, it's like one of those things you're like, "Oh, that doesn't happen here." I'd be very curious to know how many kids in Hawaii are affected by that. Because it's like one of those things. I mean, he said this, right? We don't talk about it. We pretend it doesn't exist, but it's one of the biggest forms of I forget exactly what his quote was, but like illegal activity basically, right? So any other questions? Thanks Kanan, for that was such a good, I feel like I'm gonna get on YouTube after this and go look through. And but any other questions or comments about anything, please feel free to come by any of our events and try anything. Or if you want to host a class, Marce, if you're still interested in that. I know you kind of had a date, so contact Kanan or myself. but we're always here to support you. And we're just so grateful for our entire tribe. So thanks for taking. Marcy, can I please say that your like profile pic that pops up when you're not on the screen is like, yes. I need to figure out how to make that happen for me, because I'm like, ooh, girl, be looking good over there. So anyway, if there's nothing else.
One thing I didn't really chime in too much, but I just want to let everyone know that this experience we had was just incredible. I feel like it really switched me, and really I understand how much this company cares for others and how much they just have this destiny to share and help others with their health and also their well-being. So I was just so excited to come, and I hope that more people next year will join us.
Yeah.
We had a great time just getting to know each other and the company, and laughing a lot. So,
and I don't even feel like you have to be somebody building this business to enjoy this convention. Like there are some business things, but they kind of have that more. There's like a specific leadership convention, but I mean, most of it was about people, about oils, about research, about science, and it had like the perfect amount of everything. So whether you're on here now or watching, like it is truly, I hate to be so cliche and like, but it was life changing. And it was so cool for me because last year was my first year going, and my person Roz, if you know Roz, she's going to be here this weekend, but she took me, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, every day was just like, holy cow, this is amazing. And it kept getting more. And when I was lucky enough for these 4 guys to say that they would go, I kept saying the same thing, and it felt so weird. Like, you think you love them now? Like, you think you love doTERRA now? Like, just wait. Like, I can't even explain it. And it validated everything I felt, but to share that with other people was really cool. And so I just invite everyone to come experience it. Like, we will make it happen, however many people come. And totally too, the cost was not that bad. I mean, our plane tickets were less than $500. We split a minivan for the 4 days. It was like $55 each. We split a room. We had 2 queen beds and a pull-out.
Beautiful room, thanks to Kate.
Yeah. And it was, I think we each paid like $150 for 4 nights or something. And I don't think we had one meal in a restaurant. We had a kitchen.
And we had free breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had free breakfast. That was key.
Free breakfast. And then the night that we got in, we got free wine and beer.
And stuff. That was nice. Yeah. So anyway, it wasn't like a break the bank trip either. It was really about going. I didn't factor in the cost of the convention kit. So typically a convention kit, like I think this was about $275 or so with tax, but you get all the new products. So, but I really encourage you all to join us next year. So I don't want to keep anybody any longer because that was about an hour. Yes, Mom.
Oh, I just want to second what Kate said. It was just a really moving thing to be at the convention with everything they presented. But I thought it was a really great time for me bonding with all of you guys and kind of lifting me up more to focus on the business for myself, but not because of the business of the money end, but because of what I would be sharing with people for their health. That's what I got out of it. It just motivated me to say, I really believe in this, which I do. I need to step it up and share more, and because of people's health, not because of all the money will come later. It's about just sharing people getting healthy and taking care of themselves. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right, ladies, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I'll go ahead and post this recording, so be sure to tag your team members when I do so that they can catch up. And if you have any topics that you'd like to cover, just a quick recap. I'm having a pop-up tomorrow. Saturday is vision board making at my house. And Sunday I'm having a 101 and product reveal. Aisha is having a free yoga event on Saturday. Dude, it's awesome. If you can make it 9 a.m. is the yoga. It's normally
I
$12
am.
per class.
It's
But
easy yoga
free.
too. It's like
It's
stretching.
super gentle yoga,
Yeah.
but I felt amazing afterwards. So go check that out. And then she is doing a one-on-one class afterwards. So even if you can't go send people down to her, later on in October, Kehal's going to be coming over and we're going to be doing a wellness event down in Kihei. So I'll do more about that later. But have a great weekend, everybody. Although we have one more weekday of work to endure. But then you can have an awesome weekend.
Thanks,
Hope to
Liza.
see you guys soon.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.